Do you know ball?
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 Do you know ball? Episode 26. We're back, ladies and gents. We got a fun load list of topics for you today. The first topic for today is going to be Team USA basketball, specifically the men's team. Second topic is going to be Evan Mobley just re-signed with the Cleveland Cavaliers, massive contract. We're going to talk about the shape of the Cavs, how they're going to be looking in the future, they contenders or not. Then we're going to wrap up the basketball segment with a potential Summer League MVP debate. Do we have the MVP? I think I know the MVP, but let's see if you guys agree with us. Then we're going to have a little bit of a banter, a little bit of a scuffle between the subway people. You got the Yankees Mets trade deadline. We're going to see how that, translates into a pod setting. Then we're going to talk about the Mariners' fall from grace. The AL West is a little closer than people realize. And then lastly, we're going to wrap this segment up with the World Series predictions, just like they wrapped up All-Star Weekend with on TV. So without further ado, Pat, you want to say anything before we move on?
Nah, let's jump straight in. I'm coming at you
Straight
today.
in.
Coming
Coming
at you
at me
today.
today.
Yep.
Coming at me
Let's
today.
go. Let's
Bab's
go.
energized today. Did you have a monster today or anything?
Indeed, I did. Let's go. Let's
You
get
did.
right into it.
Episode 26. Thank you guys for 100 followers, by the way.
108 to be exact. Let's go. Let's go. Let's keep
Hmm.
it up. Appreciate all the support that we've been having the past couple days. And you guys have been killing it on the shorts on TikTok. So let's keep up the pace. Let's keep going. Let's get into
Yeah,
the
those are
topics today. Let's go.
those
Come
are all
on.
videos I made, guys. So I appreciate it, especially, the last three specifically. So thank you guys so much. You've garnered about 20,000 views for us in the past 3 days, which has been phenomenal. So I really appreciate it. So without further ado, let's just go into the first topic. You ready, Zach? You ready?
Let's go. Come on. Let's just go.
He's pumped. We got a
Let's
we got a
go.
new man today. New
New
man
man. Let's
today.
get into it.
Surely you would love this first topic, right? You're gonna put a lot into it.
I'm gonna put a line into it. I'm gonna put a line
All right.
into it. Let's go. Team USA. Let's get into it. Come on.
All right. So we've seen many teams, in US basketball history, the dream team, redeem team. But this year, this team, the vibe's a little different. You know, is Team USA gonna win gold? Are we 100% for sure about that? Like, if I were to put all my life savings into a bank account and just bet on Team USA, would I make my money, you think, Zach? Are you confident in Team USA?
I'm not confident in Team USA. To tell you the
You're
honest truth,
not.
I'm not. I'm not liking what I'm seeing at the moment. These are the NBA's greatest stars, and yet a lot of these games that they should be, excuse my language, but kicking ass. They should be kicking ass. Um, and they're just not. They're not doing that. It's these games are a lot closer than they really should be. Um, Yesterday or 2 days ago they played South Sudan,
Yeah.
and I don't know what happened there, but we should not have guys like JT Thor hitting a clutch three to give them the lead at the end, and then they got to sweat it out. Like what are we doing? Like, we should South Sudan, we should easily blow them out without question. They're not even regarded to me as one of the best teams in the bracket in anything in the Olympics. I don't understand why this is such a close game and it came down to LeBron hitting a layup at the end. Like I
Mhm.
don't it shouldn't come down to a game decision, a game winning shot. It should be a blowout. It should be what's what I'm expecting. I'm expecting at least a 20 to 30 point blowout. I don't know about you. I don't know what you're expecting, but that's what I'm expecting. These are the NBA's greatest stars. You got LeBron,
Mhm.
Embiid. The list goes on. LeBron, Embiid. KD hasn't played yet, but we'll get into that. Tatum just came off a ring. Drew Holiday, Stephen Curry. We have all these great players, and the list just keeps getting bigger and bigger, and yet they only won by 1 point. So I'm gonna let you continue on.
Yeah, that's an expert analysis there, Pap. I gotta hand it to you. That was pretty good. That was solid all around. But I agree. South Sudan, shouldn't really be that much of an issue to us. There's like maybe two NBA players on there. I think Wenyan Gabriel also plays for South Sudan. But that just kind of goes to show you the talent in the NBA is so much greater than the Euro League, than any other league, because those guys in the NBA, like Wenyan Gabriel, like you classify them as maybe 13th, 14th, 15th men on a roster. But when you put them like for their country, they become some of the best players in the world. And it just goes to show you how great the talent in the NBA actually is. So you did mention Kevin Durant. Kevin Durant has not played a single game for Team USA yet, and I believe sorry, I misspoke. Team USA is undefeated at the moment, and they don't even have Kevin Durant. He didn't play a single game yet. You add Kevin Durant to that team, I think they're going to be okay. You said that you are a little iffy on them. They're not honestly as like dominant as I thought they'd be. Like, yeah, they've won every game by like decent margins and stuff, except for South Sudan. But I'm like 100% confident. I would bet my life savings that Team USA wins gold. I think that their biggest competition was Canada, and thankfully, we kind of got to see the matchup already with the first scrimmage, and they did beat Canada. Head coach Jordy Fernandez, he's fantastic for the Canadian national team. The new head coach for the Brooklyn Nets, for those wondering, Brooklyn got a good one, from my unbiased perspective. But Steve Kerr, I want to talk about. I mentioned Jordy because I want to kind of get into Steve Kerr, and Steve Kerr has been very questionable as the head coach for Team USA, and I think Warriors fans have been trying to warn us about him and be like, "Yo, he's really not that good. His rotations are really iffy," and I'm kind of starting to see what they mean, especially with how Joel Embiid is the starting center for this team, and he shouldn't be. I know Pap has some opinions on this, but I think Anthony Davis should truthfully be the starting center for Team USA. I think he fits the offense a little bit more, more spacing. Team USA is better with AD on the floor, in my opinion. I think Embiid tries to do what he does in the NBA. And what happens in the NBA translates differently to the FIBA rules because FIBA is a lot more physical and you can't flop, you can't bait the referees for calls. And as much as, as talented as Embiid is, that's his game. His game is to do a bunch of ISOs in the post and just draw fouls and spin moves and all that stuff. And that's just not translating enough to the FIBA rules, which is why I think that every time he has the ball, the offense is a little stagnant and slows down. It's not as great or as dominant as Team USA basketball should be. And, I think you pair up AD with his already, NBA teammate LeBron James on the court together. Not only do I think AD would be a better fit on the floor in general for Team USA, but you pair him with LeBron and they can, connect that Lakers connection. And I think that would make Team USA a lot more dominant. But Steve Kerr needs to realize that you can't have people like us two and people on Twitter telling Steve Kerr that. Steve Kerr needs to realize that. But that's pretty much everything I have to say. I'm just very confident in Team USA. I think they'll get it done.
You know, they could get it done. They are the obviously without a doubt favorites to win gold. And they're gonna do it in great fashion. But just some of these games, like the South Sudan game and the first the little scrimmage they had against the select team, it just kind of worried me a little bit because these are like I said, I've been saying this, these are the stars, these are the guys you look up to, these are the NBA's greatest. So they should be kicking everybody's ass except a few other teams out there like you mentioned. Canada is definitely a strong suited team, and I think they're one of the biggest competition for this USA basketball team.
Mhm.
So, just little things like that, they got to clean it up. I do agree with you about Joel Embiid and AD. I think AD should be playing only because of that chemistry he has. I think he fits in the lineup, like you said, fits in the lineup a little bit better. And Embiid, I've never really been a big fan of the way he plays. I hate foul baiting. It honestly delays the fast pace, and slows the game down. And it's just nobody wants to see someone shoot 15 to 17 free throws a game, no matter how talented Embiid is.
That's
So
true.
hopefully Steve Kerr eventually realizes that AD is the right fit and puts him in. But with that being said, we're gonna move into our second topic, which is Evan Mobley has re-signed with the Cleveland Cavaliers. 5 years, $224 million. Also, we haven't mentioned this yet on the pod. Obviously, Donovan Mitchell re-signed, and everybody's still on the team. They have the same exact team. So Cavs were the 4 seed last year. I see this as accomplishing nothing. You great. You got back the guys that you had before. What team were you? You didn't make it far in the postseason,
Mhm.
in the playoffs, and you never really got to where you wanted to be. You thought adding Donovan Mitchell to a group of young guys would be a fresh start for Donovan Mitchell and could lead to him potentially winning a ring in the upcoming future, but that just hasn't happened yet for him and the Cavs. I think they got a great team. I think they got a young team that's learning a lot, but there's a lot of work that needs to be done. Like you got back the guys that you had before. Congratulations. And that's great. It's all good and well. But you need to go out and get that difference maker that's going to push you over the top. You're great in the regular season. We know that. We know you can make the playoffs in the regular season, but it's the playoffs when it comes down to actually playing those games. That's where you got to show up. Donovan Mitchell sat out. I mean, he was injured for most of the playoffs anyways, didn't really contribute to facing the Celtics. I mean, they beat the Magic, but congrats. Like the Magic are young too. They're learning. They're learning. They're only going to get better with time. So I think this team still needs a lot of work in order to get to where they need to be. I think they
Mhm.
need at least another star, and to build upon the rest of the team, they need some role players after adding that star. So they still got a lot of work to do. But Deej, if you got any opinions you could add now.
Yeah, yeah. So like with the new CBA and all the contracts, I see 5 years, 224 million for Evan Mobley. And in my eyes, like I think it's an overpay. What is that? Like 44 million a year. I can do the quick math at the moment. 224 divided by 5, right? 220.
Yeah, I
I
believe it
cannot
is
type.
40 million.
It's
About
it's
that.
44.8 million a year. Obviously, because a backloaded contract, it's not going to be exactly 44 million a year. But roughly on average, $44 million a year for Evan Mobley. Yeah, that's a lot. But with the new CBA and locking down players and keeping them under control, I understand it has to be done. I'm not a general manager yet, so I can't really speak more on that. You just have to lock up talent, especially in today's league when you have it. He's one of the best defensive players in the entire NBA. I wouldn't be surprised if he wins a Defensive Player of the Year award at some time in the future. How soon? Not sure. But like Zach said, Cavs at best are a 4 seed. I don't see them going any farther than that, especially with how the East is shaping up. You have teams like now the Knicks, Sixers, the Celtics. I say that all those teams are at least better than them. Does a team like the Magic or Pacers make a bigger jump than them? That is possible. The Bucks, they could be healthy. They might take that jump again. Honestly, who knows? Like the Hornets might push for a playoff spot. Like it's just the Cavs are up in the air, and you traded a decent amount. You traded Laurie Markkinen for Donovan Mitchell, which is honestly kind of crazy to think about, like looking back on it. You have Donovan Mitchell on your team. You have a solid squad. You have a solid squad of Donovan Mitchell, Darius Garland, who was also reported to get traded, and he hasn't been traded yet. They've still been on the roster this entire offseason. I think it's unlikely they get moved. You have Evan Mobley, as we said, and you have Jared Allen. That's a solid squad, but you have to add the depth around them. And, with Kenny Atkinson as the new head coach, he was great in Brooklyn, but how is he going to do with Donovan Mitchell? How is he going to do with all these other guys? And one thing about Kenny is he's a very good development guy. And with a young squad, I think Kenny can bring the best out of these players. And he's reuniting with Jared Allen and Karis LeVert from the Brooklyn Nets. And, who knows? Maybe the Cavs might get reinforcements from Brooklyn. There's been a lot of talk that Isaac Okoro and some picks could get moved for either Cam Johnson or Dorian Finney-Smith. Those are two names we're going to be hearing a lot this offseason. But like Zach said, I think the Cavs truly do need at least one or two more big difference makers to even make a push in the Eastern Conference. Because at this rate, I only see them winning if a team is injured. And I hate injuries, so God forbid that happens. But that's how I see it.
Yeah, it's again, they got back what they needed to get back. It's just how they're gonna go about this. One thing I want to bring up, and I want to see your thoughts on, because we know
Yeah.
the Bulls are in a full rebuild mode. Would potentially getting Zach LaVine fit at all in some way with the Cavs, or would that be a bad move for the Cavs to even explore?
No, yeah, that would be quite possibly one of the worst things they could ever do.
Okay. All right.
Just Zach LaVine is not going to contribute to winning basketball. His contract's terrible. He's just like a straight scorer. Cavs need a little bit more than that, and I don't see Zach LaVine matching up with a guy like Paul George or Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown. It's just not going to work. I think Zach LaVine's best days are behind him. He can still be a great scorer in this league, but All-Star, I don't think so.
Just wanted to get your thoughts on that. But go ahead, let's
Yeah,
let's
no.
go into topic number three.
Oh, I love this topic. This is a fun one. I know you like this topic.
Of course, I watched the game.
I love this guy. I get to watch this guy every day.
Let's get into it. Come on, you get
You're
into it.
hyped. You're
Yeah,
hyped.
let's go.
Ladies and gents, we've seen the birth of a new man today, right?
Yeah, let's go. Come on. I
Wow.
want to talk about this. I want to get this.
Okay.
I want to talk about this guy,
Expert
this
analysis
young
over there. I
guy,
like that.
this young
I'm I'm
stud,
I'm happy for you.
this young stud. I want
I'm
to talk
happy.
about
I'm
him.
happy for you. I like that you say that. Say it again.
Young stud. This is what he is. Let's
Okay.
go.
As some of you may know, I'm an avid Brooklyn Nets fan, and I am so happy that I finally have an excuse to talk about the Brooklyn Nets a little bit on this pod. The first time was Mikal Bridges, but now we're gonna give the flowers to a beautiful young man. Jalen Wilson is the NBA Summer League MVP, and you heard it here first, folks. That it just this man at the moment of this recording, he's averaging 24.3 points per game, shooting 46.3% from the field. This kid, he's 23 years old. He was the Nets' second round draft pick last year. I believe he was like the 51st pick in the draft. He's been an absolute steal, absolutely phenomenal. Players like him that spend 4 years in college or the majority of their careers, or to spend the majority of their age range in college, they come into the draft NBA ready. And the Nets got so much great value out of him for being one of the last picks in the draft. He's been absolutely phenomenal this summer league. He's had 2 game winners already. And Cam Thomas was Summer League MVP a couple years ago. So to have another Brooklyn Nets MVP under the books, along with Cam Thomas and Dennis Schroeder, who was the, I believe, FIBA MVP, if I'm not mistaken, it's just great. And I kind of like, I have so much more to say, but I know Zach's just itching. He's just dying to talk about Jalen Wilson. So,
Dude, let me tell you something. I the other night I didn't have much to watch. I was kind of flipping through the channels. I saw the Orlando Magic versus the Nets. I said, "Okay, it's a summer league game. Let me educate myself. Let me get more knowledge about these young guys that are trying to make their way into the NBA." And let me tell you something. I saw a lot of great things from this kid. And I know I'm not trying to give you a big ego because this is a Nets guy, but this kid could actually be a dramatic piece, dramatic factor in this Nets team coming up.
mhm,
Um,
that's facts.
he,
Expert analysis, man.
great shooter, great shooter. They were down by like 15
Yeah.
in the third quarter. 15, and he led this team all the way back. This summer league team that was down by so much. Usually when you go back down by that much in a game, you just pretty much tie your hands up and that's done. It's it. It's over. Because these games don't really matter, but to him, this matters. He's making a name for himself now. He's actually paving the way to him starting on this Nets roster next year.
Yeah.
Um, like I said, phenomenal shooter. He had a crazy, crazy clutch game winner. Um, they won by 1 point, I believe. It was like 102 to 101. But it was a fantastic game from both sides. Both sides, I saw some positive things. Um, but dude, Jalen Wilson is insane. I think he hit like five threes in a row. In a
Probably.
row. Five threes in a row. So crazy, crazy talent that this guy possesses. I think he's going to be a very, very good young guy to watch out for this year. And I'm excited to see him play. his first game, or not his first game on the Nets. I know he's already played for the Nets, but I'm
Facts.
excited to see him take this next leap and this bigger role on this Nets team.
Hmm.
But with that being said, this is going to be my favorite point of this podcast.
This is where I nap, ladies and gentlemen. Let's
You're not
go.
gonna nap. Wake up. It's time to go. It's time to go. We're gonna talk about some Mets trade deadline moves. What moves do I think the Mets should make in order to be a better team coming out of this deadline? So, for starters, since they are remotely in, like we said a little bit of 2 weeks ago, since they're remotely in the playoffs, they are not going to be sellers. They're going to be buyers. And some targets I would love to see them get is I would love to see them first off work on some pitching. Work on some pitching. I've seen the rumors out there. I've seen some guys. I like some of the guys that are rumored to come to the Mets. Hopefully they do. Garrett Crochet is one of them. That's going to be a hefty package for them if they try to go out and go get them. Garrett Crochet, Yusei Kikuchi is another one. Jesus Luzardo. Um, Tanner Scott is another one. All four of those guys. Yeah, Jesus. Chime in.
Is
Chime in. I know
Jesus?
it's Jesus. I'm calling him Jesus. He's Jesus.
There's only one Jesus.
He is Jesus.
There's only
He's
one
Jesus.
Jesus.
I think a change of scenery for him would be fantastic. I think he needs to get out of the depths of shit that the Miami Marlins are, and I
So,
think
so,
he
the,
needs
so
to
the
come.
logical, the logical explanation to get him out of the depths of the shit is just to put him on the New York Mets. That's the
Logical
logical
explanation.
explanation.
Look, we're competing right now.
I didn't say
We're
you wouldn't.
competing for a playoff spot.
I
That's
just
what
think
we're
it's,
doing.
I just think it's funny that the Mets fan said, "Let's save someone from the depths of shit." Yeah, I just think it's funny.
Can only get better. What are the
Sure.
Marlins? 36 and like 60 something?
I don't know. I
Where
don't
are they
watch
going
Marlins
this year?
baseball.
Where are they going this year?
I don't know.
Nowhere. Nowhere. And they haven't been going anywhere for a little bit of time.
Hmm.
So, I would love to see him in a Mets uniform. Those are my
Yeah.
those are my pitching
Look,
prospects.
and
I know
I would love to go on a date with Olivia Rodrigo, and some things just can't happen.
all right,
You
well,
know.
I'm gonna keep what you just did in mind for the Yankees part of this. I'm gonna keep what you just did in mind, but those are the pitching prospects or pitching targets I would like to see come to the Mets. Garrett Crochet, I know it's gonna take a lot of work to get. That might not be too realistic to get him. Kikuchi definitely could see them bringing him on. Because I don't think that'd be too hard of an ask from the Blue Jays. Um, and I would love Jesus Luzardo. I would love him. He would be great.
And I
Also
would
Tanner,
love to marry Jenna Ortega.
keep up this
Would-
energy. Keep
I
up
would
this
love
energy because you
to.
know what? It's gonna come back to bite you in the ass. But we'll get
Sure.
into that. We'll get
Sure.
into that.
I'm just
Um,
saying, I would love for great things to happen too. I'm just saying, I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just.
just to give you a tidbit of information, this guy Tanner Scott, this closer, this great guy for the Marlins, he's 8 for 8 currently. He just beat us today. He just beat us today. He's 8 for 8 in his last 8 saves.
Bravo.
He he's been lights out. Dude would be a fantastic left to right combination with Diaz. I think that would be a crazy good move for them. But I want to get into the land of unrealistic moves. I want to put something out there. I heard this on the fan, and I think that this team, this current Mets team, is giving 2015 vibes a little bit all over again. And
Wait. Did they make, is that
listen,
the year they made the World
that's
Series?
the year they made the World Series. They weren't
Stop.
supposed to. They
Stop
listen,
it.
listen. I'm not saying that. Look.
You did
I'm not
not
saying
just say that.
I'm not saying that they're gonna make the World Series, but I'm
Because your
saying
middle infielders can sing a song in the field. That's why. That's
listen
why.
to me.
Oh, the
Listen
vibes are
to
good.
me.
The vibes are good. We're
Listen to
back.
me. I'm feeling I'm feeling a little bit of a 2015 deadline vibe.
Okay.
Remember 2015 deadline where
And
we got
I'm
Yoenis Cespedes?
feeling like Jen
Listen to me.
Ortega's gonna
Listen to
DM me
me.
tonight. I'm feeling
Listen
it.
Listen
I'm
to me.
feeling it.
Listen to me.
Anyone can
Remember
speak
when
out of
we
their
got
ass.
Yoenis Cespedes? Remember? Remember
The,
that?
the the
Remember,
the
remember,
same guy
remember the
that the same
impact?
guy that
No,
intentionally
listen,
didn't show
listen.
up
Let me
to the Mets
talk.
games because he didn't
Let
want to
me
be on the team
talk.
anymore. Is it
Let me
that guy?
talk. The same guy that gave us that spark that we needed. Okay?
Okay.
I think, because I heard this on the fan and I couldn't agree more. I think the Mets should try to pursue Randy Arozarena because because I think he represents a lot of what Cespedes was. He's having a bad year. He's having a terrible year on the Rays currently. The Rays are not going to be making the playoffs. They're not in contention. They could look to sell a little bit. Why not try to go out and get him and bring him over? I think he'd be a spark plug on this team. I think he'd fit the outfield perfectly, and I think he would plug a lot of holes that this team already has.
Where are those
I
holes?
think well, there's a few. Jeff McNeil is one of them. I cannot stand Jeff McNeil. We're going to be trading. We're probably going to get rid of him. And the other person I can't stand is Sean Manaea. The two of them, Sean Manaea throws gopher balls down the middle, and Jeff McNeil sees a gopher ball down the middle and swings upward and can't touch the gopher ball. Okay?
Okay.
He is one of the worst. I don't understand how much of a drop off he had from 2022 to now. It just has gone from really, really good to, oh, okay. Like he had an all right season last year to completely you're lost at the plate. You need a map to find the baseball and track it to the plate because you're never going to be able to touch it. I've heard also some rumors with Jeff McNeil and Sean Manaea being put together, sent away for what? I don't care, but get them out of here. They're probably going to be sent to the Mariners. I heard they were looking for a second baseman, but that was a package they were looking to get. I don't care if they gave us a bag of rice. If that gets them off the team, congrats. Great. We got young guys coming up. We have other guys that could fill in those positions. I'm not too worried about them being shipped off to the Mariners. I think it would be good for the team. I think the Jeff McNeil era in Queens is officially over. I think we tried to let him figure his shit out and get better over time, and it just didn't happen like that. So, look, if he needs to be moved for a bag of rice, by all means, let's let's send him off. I can see you're waiting to say something. What have I said that in this little documentation of players who I think they should target, that was wrong. Go ahead. Let me hear it. Because I'm gonna let you hear it. Because I know you're gonna say some unrealistic crap
Are
for
you
for
done?
the Yankees. Go ahead.
Are you done? Are you done?
Go ahead.
That went on 10 minutes longer than it needed to go on.
These are realistic moves. Few the pitching wise, they are realistic. Randy Rosarena is gonna be a stretch. I know Garrett Crochet is gonna be a stretch. Um, but those are
You
two.
fu- you just said it's realistic, and then two
No,
out
no,
of the
no, no,
four
no, no, no.
people. No, you just said it's realistic, and then two out of the four people you said it's going to be a stretch. It's going to be a stretch.
Two of them are going to be a stretch. I could Jesus Luzardo, Kikuchi, and Tanner Scott. I could see them getting without problems.
You're not getting Tanner Scott, not with your farm system. You
Not with
don't
our
need him.
farm
You
system.
don't need him. Simple as that.
Why
A
don't we
team,
need him? The
a,
bullpen has
te-
been
a
one
team.
of our worst parts of our team. How are you going to tell me we don't need him?
Right. The Yankees need him more than you do. I'm not saying we're going to get him. I'm just saying we need him more than you do.
Dude, listen to me. I'm telling you this right now. I think he's going to be a perfect fit for this team. Tanner Scott. I
Oh.
would love to see him
And
in
Jenna
orange and
Ortega
blue.
would be a perfect fit around my arms.
I'm gonna remember this. I'm gonna hand the reins over to you. I'm gonna hand the reins over to you for your Yankees crap. I'm gonna listen to that, and I'm gonna interject like you did. I'm gonna let you I'm gonna let you have it. Let's go.
I'm just
Come on.
saying. I mean,
Let
like,
me let me hear the Yankees.
okay. Are you guys
Let me embrace it.
viewers? You guys awake now? You can wake up. The good part's coming. Wake up, everyone. Take a minute. Breathe in, breathe out, drink your lemon water, your milk, your iced tea. Wait, let's talk about the actual good team, the New York Yankees. Good in quotations. Record wise, they're good, but the Yankees have a lot of work to do this trade deadline, and I made a previous video about it that got like 10K views. So thank you if you're one of the 10,000 viewers that watched that. Right, Zach? You saw that video? It
Yeah,
was
yeah,
a
I
good
saw it.
video.
It was a good
Good
video.
video.
It was a good
Good
video.
video.
Let's go.
Good video. Good video.
Come on.
Anyway, so I made a video discussing what I thought the Yankees could do. What I didn't say what they should do, but names that have been discussed. And before this pipsqueak interjects and tries to say anything, that doesn't mean that I think they're going to get them. I'm just saying the names that have been discussed that the Yankees could possibly get, not that they will get, but that have been discussed. Okay, do you understand that before you say anything stupid? Because I know something's going to come.
Go ahead.
Okay. So the main priority with the Yankees is infield. Okay. The infield is the biggest concern. Ben Rice has been a bright spot. Can't deny that. But you're running out lineups with Gleyber Torres every day, who personally should not be on a major league roster. Well, he could be on a major league roster, but change of scenery is probably needed for him. Anthony Volpe, just gonna move past that. And then DJ LeMahieu, I genuinely think that you get Alex Rodriguez, get him out of retirement, put him at third base. I think he'd be more productive than current day DJ LeMahieu, and I stand on that. Like that's my wholehearted, honest to God truth. So the main problem is the infield, right? The outfielders that are on the market across the entire league, Jazz Chisholm is one of the big ones that have been discussed league wide. Jonathan India is a name that's been discussed here or there. I'm blanking on some names. Isaac Paredes on the Rays, they might be selling. Am I missing anyone? Ryan McMahon, but I think that might be like a generational haul. Uh, I don't know. Am I missing anyone, Pap? Is there anyone? Is there some, I feel like there's someone obvious I'm just totally blanking on.
Well, the only thing that I'm thinking of, and I'm not even gonna mention it because I don't want you to say it because it will never happen. And if it does, I'll tip my cap and I'll give you your flowers. But I
Matt
don't know if
Chapman?
no, I'm thinking of
Well,
the
he's another
the
one.
two big Blue Jays guys that
No,
shall
that's
not be named.
I'm not that stupid. I'm not that stupid. Bo and Vlad are not gonna get traded. In my opinion, if they get traded, then I just don't think they should do that. But that's not for now. That's not for now. The Yankees, and I've made many tweets about it, is I genuinely think the Yankees won't do anything. I think Brian Cashman is going to go and pull off like a JD Davis type trade and like just pull out this like random, underused infielder and just put them in the spot. And that's going to be their sorry ass excuse. I genuinely believe it. I don't think Cashman's going to do anything. I think they might do the same thing with the bullpen. I really do think that they need Tanner Scott. Not even necessarily to replace Clay Holmes. It's just you need guys that, especially lefties. The Yankees lefty scenario is funny. But you need guys that are going to strike people out. You need guys that you can rely on. As you said, Tanner Scott's been one of the best in the league at the moment. Clay Holmes has been unreliable as hell. But they're never going to remove Clay from that closer spot because he's been an all-star. He's been an all-star, what, 2 out of the 3 years he's been a Yankee? Maybe 2 out of the 4. I don't honestly know how long he's been here. He's overstayed his welcome. But they respect the veterans too much. And for the trade deadline, I don't know if you expected some grand old just straight delusion fest from me, but I'm being realistic. And I just don't see the Yankees doing anything crazy. I don't. I think they're going to run it back. I think they're going to use Stanton's injury as like, okay, that's an acquisition. I think they're going to use Jason Dominguez coming back and be like, that's like another trade. That's another acquisition. I think they're going to use Clark Schmidt coming back being like, that's another acquisition. I think Brian Cashman's honestly just going to go out, trade for some journeymen, trade for some random relievers that Matt Blake will turn into gods. And, Brian Cashman is just going to be like, the biggest thing's health. And I think that's what we're going to do. I don't think they're going to do anything else. So sorry if you expected
Um,
some big, disaster from me, but that's the honest truth.
look, first of all, it's
Mhm.
kind of hard to lay into you when you said that you expect them to do nothing.
Yeah.
It's kind of hard to lay into you when you say things like that. But truthfully, and I'm gonna lay it out for you, spell it out for you right now. If you guys do nothing,
You're gonna spell it.
I'm gonna if you guys do
You
nothing,
you learned how to spell? Congrats.
if you guys do nothing,
I'm actually happy for you, man. Good
your
job.
chase for 28 is over this year.
Mhm.
You do
I
not
think
have you do
I
not
think
have the team.
I think we still have a better chance of winning the World Series than the Mets if we did nothing and you guys added like Bryce Harper, Mike Trout, Shohei Ohtani. I still think the Yankees would have a better
Okay,
chance.
that's
But continue.
delusional. That's batshit crazy. But let's pretend like you didn't just say what you just said.
Huh?
That's absolutely you got to be out of your mind if you think we add all those players and we wouldn't.
I think
At
you're
the moment,
crazy that
at the
You
moment,
think Randy Rosarena
that's a pipe
present
dream.
day.
It's what someone on the fan
I
said.
I think
I'm just reporting what I heard. I'm reporting what I heard. That's
I think
it.
it's crazy that you think Randy's the missing piece for the Mets.
I would love, dude, sign me up. Give me Randy. Give me Randy. I'll take the flyer on him. He hasn't been great
There
this year,
there's so many better outfielders that you can go for at this moment.
but I'm talking about the names that they've mentioned. This is the
Why
names that
Randy?
have been mentioned.
Why Randy?
I don't know. Ask the people on the fan that.
Because he's a big name, that's why.
Ask the people on the fan that. I
Okay.
think he resembles a lot of Yoenis Cespedes, but that's not what we're talking about right now. That's not what we're talking about right now. We're talking about the New York Yankees. And if you guys do nothing
Mhm.
this deadline, you're done. It's just
Okay.
this is not your year. Your year is over because you have so many things in question. You need a whole new infield. You need a whole new infield. Volpe's been underwhelming. Gleyber Torres and Jeff McNeil should have a battle for who's worse.
Mhm.
Um, Ben Rice is all right, but you need so much. You need so much. Ben Rice is good. Don't make that face. Ben Rice is good, but you need so much more to help Judge, to help Soto, to tack in more runs. You know, I the past couple games I've been seeing, I don't know if you won today, but I know yesterday you lost 9-0.
Okay.
I don't know what the score was today. Did you lose today?
What do you think? Of course we lost.
Okay. But there's a lot of work that needs to be done.
Yeah.
I think there's certain areas. If you do a couple moves here and there and you add some role depth pieces, I think you guys will be in good shape. But if you do nothing, you're done. This is it.
Are you done?
You're not making it far in the
Are you
postseason.
done? Are you done?
Sure,
Because
go ahead.
you just repeated everything I said, and you just extended this segment like an extra 5 minutes.
Go ahead. Go ahead. Talk now. Talk now. The floor is yours.
New topic.
Go ahead.
The Mariners. Let's talk about the Mariners, huh? You ready for this, Zach? You ready for some expert analysis?
I'm ready for it.
You ready for it?
Let's go.
I bet you thought that segment was a little underwhelming, the Yankee one. You thought I was gonna say something crazy.
A little bit, but you didn't. For whatever reason. It's
That
good to
proves
have
you
dreams.
that proves that you didn't watch my video and that you don't follow me on Twitter.
It's good to have dreams. It's good
It's
to have
crazy.
dreams.
Like Randy
Good.
Rosarena. Like
Yeah.
Randy Rosarena would bring this year's Mets to the promised land.
I'm not saying the promised land, but I think we can
No,
make it. We
that's what
can.
you said. That's what you said. You said you got vibes.
I never said
You said the 2015 Mets. That's what you
2015.
said.
No, 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 no.
That's
I
what you
said
said.
2015 deadline.
No, you
2015
said
deadline
2015
vibes.
Mets. You
No.
said that was a team they won the World
Rewind.
Series. That was a
Rewind
team they
this.
said would make the World Series. You
Comment
said
down
he was
below what
gonna
I
be.
said.
You said he was
Comment down
gonna be
below what I
like
said.
Yoenis Cespedes.
I said, I said 2015 deadline vibes. I
Mhm.
feel a lot of the same. It's a lot of the same move that they did with Yoenis Cespedes that they could have the potential to do with Randy. Doesn't mean
Okay.
they're going to do it. They're probably not going to do it. They're 100% not going to do it. But it it's that kind of move that I feel like would make us better
Mhm.
than we are right now, and we're still
I
in the playoff hunt.
I really feel bad because delusion's a hell of a drug,
It's not delusion. It's
and
really not delusion.
and
It's
like
really not delusion.
I hate to see like fan bases of like a certain team that overachieve and then they just think that, they actually have a shot. And unfortunately, that's what happened with the Mets. That's happening with you.
We're not
You guys,
supposed to be in playoff
you
contention right
exactly.
now.
You
But
overachieve,
I'm
and
not
it
saying
just sucks to hear everything you're
in
saying because
nowhere in this pod did I
in a
say
couple months you're
no,
going
no,
to
no,
be
no.
shattered. And I'm
Nowhere
just
in this
I'm gonna
pod.
be there for you. I'm gonna feel bad for you
Listen to me.
because I
Listen
tried
to
to
me.
warn you.
Listen to me. Nowhere in this pod did I say the Mets were going to make the World Series. I
I
said it
know
was
you. I
giving
know that.
2015 deadline vibes, not
I know.
2015 World Series
I literally did
vibes,
not.
even
I
though
did
we
not
didn't
mention
even
any of
win.
that. I literally did not
You
just mention that.
you just said that.
I literally did not.
You 100% just said
I
that.
just said delusion's a hell of a drug.
No, before you said that, you mentioned 2015 World Series.
Yeah, that was before.
And
That's not
I
what I'm talking
said
about though.
I was telling you it was deadline vibes.
Hmm.
Go ahead. You want to derail? Keep derailing.
No, I'm just saying. I think
Let's
it's
get into the
just.
Mariners.
I just
Let's
think it's
go.
straight delusional if you think Randy Rosarena is going to give you the same, thing that Yoenis Cespedes gave you. That's what I think. That's funny. I think like guys like Brent Rooker, like someone like that would be more of a boost. But because Randy's a big name, I guess he's going to be that same boost. I guess. Yeah. Right. Sorry. Okay. Go.
Go ahead. Go
You
ahead.
go. You feeling yourself?
I'm feeling myself.
You feeling so good? You
Yep.
feel so
Go
good. Oh,
ahead.
you feel so
Let's
good for
go.
once. I'm happy for you.
Let's go.
I feel honestly I feel happy for you. Like I'm so happy that you're here. You're present in the moment. I'm so happy for you. Everyone comment down below. Let us know that you're happy for Zach too.
Let's go. Come on.
You feel good?
Stop
I
delaying. Let's go.
I'm just saying, do you feel good? Just say you feel good.
You are derailing.
Do you feel good?
You are currently derailing.
I didn't derail.
I talked about a topic. I talked about people who I think are realistic, names that were put
So
out there.
the Mariners. You ready? Because now you're derailing a little bit.
Go.
Can I continue?
Go.
You can derail.
Can you just go? Just go.
Do I have your permission? Or are you gonna derail? Can I go? Yes. Okay. Cool. All right, ladies and gents, we're gonna talk about the AL West showdown. Now, we talked about it earlier in the year. Teams like the Astros and the New York Mets have been really bad at the start of the year, but they've kind of picked it up a little bit, specifically the Astros. Um, the Astros are now in first place in the AL West. That is ridiculous to say. I don't know their record off the top of my head at the start of the year, but I genuinely think we made a video, like a sole single video, talking about how the Astros were done and that there was nothing they could do, that their whole season was a wash. They were facing so many injuries, and they still are. And somehow, some way, they've clawed their way back up to the top. It's like Thanos. It's inevitable. The Astros are inevitable. They're always going to be one of the best teams in the league. If they win the World Series, I'm going to be sick to my stomach. Keep in mind, I'm pretty sure Altuve's hurt as well now. Kyle Tucker has not played a game of baseball in who knows how long. And you can argue that he is the team's best player, and they are still somehow in first place. The Mariners have fallen from grace. They just forgot how to play baseball all of a sudden. The reigning World Series champions, Texas Rangers, they're negative at the moment. They're not doing great as well. The A's and Angels don't even need to talk about them. Don't even throw them out the window. They're not baseball teams. They're little league teams, right? Like they're just whatever. But those three teams, it was supposed to be a battle out west. It was supposed to be really fun, you know, and now it's just not. The Astros have not pulled away, but they've clawed their way back up top. And the fact that they did this while hurt, they're just going to get healthier. And I think they're going to run with the division. And if they make the World Series, I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised. But that's about it. The Mariners, kind of choked.
Yeah, I mean, listen, it's kind of remarkable to see where, we both came sort of that way. The Mets and the Astros, we were comparing. I remember earlier in the year, I was comparing the two, and I was saying, "Oh, at least we're just as worse as or just as bad as the Astros." We
You
are
always got to
not.
bring up the
We're not.
Mets.
You mentioned it. You mentioned it too. I can mention whatever I want. You're trying to get me agitated,
I'm
and it's
not.
not
I'm just.
working. It's not working. Anyways, it's just interesting to see how far that both teams have come. Um, Mets have come back a lot less than the Astros, but
Facts.
it's it's just I can't believe that with all these injuries, with all the thing that's going on with the team, um, that they're in this position that they are right now. Like they're tied for first place right now. and they lost today, granted, but to take I think 2 out of 3 from the Mariners, it's kind of a big jump. It's a big leap for them. It's a good start back from All-Star break. And I think they need to keep pushing. They're going to get their pieces back eventually. And you going into this year, you kind of expected them. I know I expected them to be in the playoffs. I wasn't expecting them to be bad.
Hmm.
I knew that eventually they would turn things around because they have the same team that they had last year, that they had the year before. It's literally copy and paste. It's great. They got depth. They got honestly arguably a better catcher than they did a couple years ago. A couple years ago they had Martin Maldonado. Now they got Yanir Diaz. So,
Hmm.
I mean, some minor upgrades from within, but I think that they've a great chance of making it far in the playoffs. They've completely done a 180 on this season, and I think they're looking in good shape right now, looking in great
Hmm.
shape.
Yeah.
But
I,
speak,
I I don't know if you saw, but Jeff Passan actually tweeted that Ty France has been placed on waivers.
that's certainly something, I guess. I
Nope.
mean, Ty France, I don't think he's been having a good year. I can't remember the last time his name was mentioned
Mm-mm.
in doing something good with the Mariners. So I can't say I didn't expect it, but
That is crazy. But yeah, no, the Mariners just sorry guys.
it is what it is. It is what it is. It happens to the best of us.
Hmm.
It's baseball. You
Some
go
more than
from
others. Some more
you
than
go
others,
from
but
your highest of highs to your lowest of lows real quick. It's a funny game. Just how it is. I don't know if you got anything to add, but we could get right straight into the next topic.
no, yeah, we're gonna just go right on to this next topic, and this one, truthfully, is gonna be a really quick one. I don't think we need to spend way too much time
No.
on it. We can just say it, give like a quick little explanation, and that's it. Ready?
Yep.
All
So,
right. Yeah.
next topic.
Yeah.
World Series predictions. I think flat out, right out of the gate. My pick, and I say this with so much disgust in my heart. Um, truthfully, I believe that the 2024 World Series champions will be the Philadelphia Phillies. Don't see it being any other team. I think it's their year. Um, and especially if they do something at the deadline to already add to their stacked lineup, stacked pitching rotation, great bullpen. Um, I think they have a 100% chance of winning the 2024 World Series. They're just
Mhm.
they're just from head to toe a great team. And we just went to a Phillies game and
We did.
just watching them play with that lineup from the top to the bottom, it's just a bomb squad.
It
It's
just
the
so
Avengers.
stupidly talented. Yeah, like
Stupidly talented, and the all these young guys, Alec Boehm's finally having a breakout year, which they honestly needed from him. Um,
yeah.
and you got guys like Bryson Stott. Like these are not even like the top guys on the team. You know, if there's a disaster, Nick Castellanos is going to hit a home run. He did it today. He did it again. Joe Biden moved himself from president election and took his name out of the hat. What does Nick Castellanos do? Ninth inning bomb. So I mean this team is built on a lot of star power, and they're just my pick for the 2024 World Series. And
Mhm.
I can't see it any other way.
Okay.
Good.
Well, I didn't know only one team made the World Series, but okay. So I think it's gonna be the Phillies and Orioles. You know, I'm gonna agree with Derek Jeter on this one. I'm gonna agree with Derek Jeter, and I'm gonna say it's gonna be the Phillies and Orioles. It's just the two best teams in baseball at the moment, in my eyes. And knowing my luck, knowing my luck, it's going to be the Orioles. The Orioles are going to pull off some stupid trade. They're going to get like Scooble. They're going to get someone stupidly good for cheap. I just know it. They're going to get someone great, and my luck, they'll win the World Series. But after seeing the Phillies in person, I feel like I have a little connection to them now. I think that they might honestly win the World Series. So my prediction, I got the Phillies over the Orioles. Like Zach said, I won't really repeat anything. They're just so stupidly good. Pitching, hitting. JT Realmuto just came back from the injured list, so they just get stronger. And they've been rumored to possibly get Luis Robert. Who knows if that'll even happen? But if they do, it's wraps. Just hand them the World Series trophy. So I got Phillies over Orioles. Regardless, that's a fun series. That's a fun series. But that's all I got.
And then get into our last topic of the night. Fun
You want
topic. Let's
you
go.
want to do it? You want to
Let's
do
do
it?
it. Let's do it. Let's
He's,
go.
ladies and gents, we have a new man, Zachary Papenburg. Ladies and gents, look at him. He's hyped. I like this. All right.
Let's go.
So this is the fun topic. I'm surprised we're getting into this. I made a short the other day talking about how Paul Skeens was the best pitcher in baseball, and I firmly believe that. He's 6-0. He's pitched only 11 games of the MLB career, started the All-Star game. His movement, the stuff on his pitches, absolutely nasty. The Pirates are now half a game out of a wild card spot, if I'm not mistaken. So the
Mhm.
Pirates have been absolutely surprising a ton of people, and Skeens is honestly a pretty big part of that, even though he's a pitcher. So I said Paul Skeens is the best pitcher in baseball. I firmly believe that. Pat, is Paul Skeens the best pitcher in baseball?
Yes, he's pound for pound the best pitcher in baseball. Look at it. I'm gonna eat my words right now. I know I've had a lot of ups and downs with this guy, and I scoffed at the fact that he could be a top 10 pitcher, and he is a top 10 pitcher. He's not even only a top 10 pitcher, he's a top two pitcher in baseball right now. The only other guy that could possibly give Skeens a run for his money right now is Tariq Skubal. Those are the top two pitchers in the league right now, both having phenomenal years.
Mhm.
Um, but Skeens is just incredible. The way what he could do with a baseball, what energy he's just given to this Pittsburgh Pirates team, who now have just reached a potential avenue to lead them to the playoffs. It's phenomenal. Pittsburgh is rocking. They just took 2 out of 3 from the Phillies, which
Yeah.
we were just saying are the favorites to win the World Series.
Hmm.
So the fact that they did that and they're on a roll starting off coming back from All-Star break, I think this guy is definitely a lightning in a bottle for the Pirates. But like I said, it's him and it's Screwball, and those are the top two pitchers in baseball right now.
Hmm. It's good
But yeah,
analysis. Yeah.
yeah, it's great. But with that being said, that is the end of episode 26. We are going to catch you guys next week. I hope you all enjoyed. Like, comment, follow on TikTok, subscribe to our channel if you like what we put out. But we'll see you guys next week in episode 27.